I consider myself a romantic. I like to look out the window on rainy days and just think about love and spending my life with that one lucky lady, specifically getting married. If this was 1959, I could be well on my way to getting married and no one would bat an eye. This was because in 1959, 47% of all brides were under the age of 19. Society's view on marriage was that it was mandatory. Marriage was a necessity. It was something you had to do in life to be happy and conform to society's views. The reasons for getting married are usually categorized as push and pull factors. Pull factors being things about marriage that entice you, like having a companion for life, the openness, etc. Push factors, on the other hand, are things that in a way make you get married. So, like getting married to conform to society's views. For example, no woman wanted to be considered a spinster, or more commonly known as an old maid. A spinster is defined as an unmarried woman who is past the usual age of marrying and is unlikely to get married. Being branded a spinster was like being branded a leopard. O'Brien says in her book, The Woman Alone, she is considered a social tile outcast living in the shadow of others. She makes those around her uncomfortable. Marriage used to have a timetable. Once a woman hit menopause, it was said her availability for marriage was over. It was better to get married young than old because the older you got, the less likely you were to get married. For instance, in the 1950s and early 1960s, delaying marriage or refusing to tie the knot altogether was seen as abnormal. This acted as a push factor for many young couples to get married early on. This way of thinking would not last. In a relatively short amount of time, our reasons for getting and when we got married have changed. Through the emergence of the hippie culture in the mid-1960s, our view on marriage changed. These free spirits were more independent in love and the choices they made in life. They sought to free themselves from society restrictions and find their own true individual meaning of life. They practiced free love. Free love is the idea that if it feels right, do it. As the hippie culture and beliefs spread through society, our once strict views of marriage became less strict. Marriage started to become optional. As society's view on marriage changed from something you had to do to something you do when you want and were able, the rise of cohabitating couples came along. Cohabitation is an arrangement between two people who are unmarried and also live together, who are in an emotional and sexual relationship for a long span of time. As the years go on, the total number of new marriages decreased in correlation with the increase of cohabitating couples. So this means that couples were doing everything married couples were doing without the title of married couples. So they was living together, having families, all that jazz. So you may ask yourself, why is this important? True, the total number of new marriages has decreased from 72% in 1972 to 62% in 1990 to about half with 59% currently. But the idea of marriage has become the true meaning of love. Whenever you hear of a couple that's married, the first thing that comes to mind is they must really love each other, or at least that's what comes to my mind. This is because instead of staying a cohabitating couple, which is pretty much the same as a married couple, they decided to take that extra step. Marriage becoming something that's not forced onto the people, at least in our society, has only made it a stronger entity to the people who choose to get married.